Hello and what's up, everybody? My name is Ray. You guys can call me Reynamations. And welcome to another video. If this is not your first video, and if it is, welcome to the first video of this series. It's not really a series, but it's welcome to my first video of doing this sort of thing. I haven't done a tutorial on Blender in a while, so I thought, you know what, let's get back into that for a little while and see how it goes. Anyways, let's get started with it. And here we go. If I'm correct, it will be this button. Nope, that's my script. Okay, so this is pretty much my setup right now. Let's say that you get started and you have your default cube or something like that. You want to have your UV, you're trying to do a normal map, right? But you don't know how to do it. But you already have two objects, right? You got your old your low resolution one, right? Which is, for me, is this plate, and then your higher resolution one, which is also the same plate. It's just that obviously it has a little bit more details, more ridges, more everything. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take all the details of the light that hits this and put it onto the lower one. This one. And you're gonna see that magic take place. It's not really magic, but okay, so first things first, you're gonna have to go to to your render settings, which are up here, and make sure that it is set to cycles. So right here, I have it set to cycles, as you can see, and yeah, normally it's on Eevee, depending on the Blender version that you have. If not, it will be on Workbench, which is like, Blender Render. I think that's how it was called, Blender Render. But make sure to have it on cycles. It's gonna be very important for specific reasons. It's because you're gonna be using the node editor. But I'll show you guys how to go through that. Anyways, let's get started with the next portion. Go to the UV editor, create a new texture, and then UV unwrap both of those objects, making sure that the UVs are properly aligned. Now, I'm saying that they're properly aligned is because of the fact that you're taking essentially all the details from the first unwrap of the higher resolution image and then putting it onto the lower resolution, so you need them to be stacked. If you this obviously is a tutorial for higher understanding of Blender, so if you're ever trying to do this, you should at least have some understanding. So that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna split this vertical. Split it vertical. Let me make sure that I set this up to be on what's it called, image texture. What's it, UV editor. No, it's UV editor. So I go to UV editor and then I create a new one, right? And then this one, I'll title it, I don't know, plate tutorial. No, plate. What should we call it? Normal map. Plate normal map is simple. And then you can set this resolution to a higher resolution. You can even times it by 4 or anything like that. I'm just gonna leave it as simple because I don't want to take too much time, and it goes a lot faster when you have lower resolution images. So I'm just gonna press OK. See how it goes. Looks really nice. Afterwards, you're gonna make sure that both of them are unwrapped. So what you're gonna do is let me hide the higher resolution one so you can see the lower resolution one, and then see, I already have it marked. The seam. Basically, you just take edges from it and kind of like do like a paper cutout for it. I'm not sure if you already have this portion done and you're just confused. So you just have it all cut out, and then afterwards, you press Control E, and then you're gonna mark seam, and then it creates that little red mark around it. and then do the same thing with the high resolution plate. So let me tap out of it and go to object mode and hide this one. Go to the high resolution one, tap into make sure that one's clicked, edit mode, and then as you can see, it's the same thing. You see like that little red mark, that's exactly where the other one was at. So same sort of information is gonna go onto it. um, but then after you have it all done, make sure that you have it all done like this. If you have it done differently, that's fine. I'm not sure if how to work with it in a different manner than this. So if you have it done way differently than this, you might have to watch another tutorial, sadly. But this is the method I'm going for. Anyways, let me hide that so you guys could see more of what I'm doing. Uh, After you get both of them to be perfectly like that, and then you go onto uh, here and then click on both of them, right? And then you press tab, edit mode, press A. You can kind of see that they're all both aligned perfectly with one another. If I go just to the result A and then just go onto that, or press L, right? I clicked on, I'm not sure if that's the one or the other. Okay, let me, alright, let's say I had the low poly one. If I press A, you can kind of see it, right? If I hide the higher poly one and then I press Alt A, obviously to hide the high poly one, and then I press A this time. This is the lower poly one, and you see the details are not fully there. It's not as detailed as the first one. So now that they're perfectly aligned, you take your time aligning yours however you want. I already have mine aligned for the sake of this tutorial and for the sake of this going by a lot faster. I don't waste your time. You guys can stay interactive with me and everything like that. Then afterwards, what you're gonna do is go onto shader editor. So up here, you're gonna click on shader editor. It looks like a little ball with little dots in it. And then for me, by default, I have the principled BSDF because I have the latest version of Blender at the moment of recording. And for you, it might be a different version depending on what version of Blender you have. So you're gonna press Shift A to add two things. You want to add an image texture and a normal map. Now to get to image texture, all you need to do is go to texture and then image texture, and then you click and then put it there. Now this is important because if you don't have an image texture set to the material of your object, it's not gonna fully go through. Make sure that obviously all this BSDF is obviously the material of your first or second object. Then you could just put the material in it. It will be obviously material settings. Mine is called plate map. Uh, you can call it whatever you want. I called it plate map. Anyway, so you get this, and then you make sure that you have the plate normal. Now that's gonna be set like that, and then you're gonna press Shift A again, and then this time you're gonna go into your vector portion, and then go to normal map, and then click on it, and then just drop it right there. Put color to color, and then normal to normal, and then guys can see it like this. This way it feels more balanced, like it's going across. So this is going into this information, and then it's essentially going over there. Now what we're gonna have is make sure that it's not set to color data. So for the color space right here, not sure if you guys can see it out there, so zoom into it a little. This area right here, you just kind of press that and then go to non-color. Now that all this is done, and this is pretty much all taken care of, you don't really need to do much here. Afterwards, you just go onto your image, your UV editor and stuff, and make sure that both of them are visible and can be rendered. Being rendered is important because even if you're not rendering the higher resolution one, you need it to be rendered so it could bake. I learned this the hard way when I was trying to bake and it didn't want to bake because it wasn't renderable. Okay, so then now you're gonna go onto your render settings again. You know, the little camera up here in the corner. Then you're gonna go down all the way to your bake settings, uh, and then make sure that on your bake settings you got your bake type set to normal. Now mine is normal. Now yours may not be set to normal. Mine is, but just set it to normal, and it should be fine. My nose kind of itchy. Then afterwards, click on selected active. It should be like closed down like that. Just press selected active, and it should look like this. You don't need to touch any of those settings at all. And then for margin from output, you can change this. I normally by default it sets to 16 pixels. I could bring it down. Let's say 8 pixels instead. So it changes it up. Maybe it'll make it look a lot better. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Uh, and then afterwards, you just press bake. But first, actually, before you press bake, uh, let's see. What do I have under bake? Change the. Okay. Alright, so afterwards, after you do all this, make sure that you select the higher resolution object, right? You could be in object mode, by the way. So you're gonna select the higher resolution object and then select the lower resolution object that you want all the information to be baked onto. Now this is important, and this is the reason why we have it set to selected to active. If we did not have that happening, we didn't like if we had all the information on one object, we did not need this. But because we have two objects, one with high resolution and the other one without high resolution, we do selected active. That's how it works. Afterwards, after you have selected the high resolution, which I conveniently named mine higher resolution, and then the other one low resolution, low poly, uh, no, plate low poly, and then the other one is plate high poly. Poly, like the little poly counts, which is a term for the little vertices or faces and stuff like that it has. Technical terms, you may not understand it, but eventually you might if you get into this sort of stuff. Afterwards, you press bake, and then see the magic happening. It says calculating something, and then it's loading, and then you just wait for it to happen. See the magic happen after you press bake. Now, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments down below. I will answer all your questions if they relate to the subject, and if they don't relate to the subject whatsoever and you just want to talk about something else, just let me know. Just leave a comment down below. Or if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, that sort of stuff. Okay, see, now the resolution is baked onto it. It looks kind of strange right here where it cuts off and then it goes around. It's not supposed to be this sort of shade. It's supposed to have a, what's it called? A bluish to purple, but no yellows and stuff like that. So for that, let me change this back to 16. Maybe that might help. Selected active. Extrusion. Well, but if an extrusion, I'll put max rate distance. You know what? I'll put the max rate distance to be 0.01. Let's see if that works. This usually you have to change depending on the situation. It's almost 50% done. It's 40, 50 now, and it's gonna keep going. Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error. Mostly you just do it and then see if it calculates it correctly. Sometimes it doesn't, and you gotta go again, and then it finally does calculate it, and then you're like, oh, this is a really nice result, perfect. Oh, it seems like it made it worse, surprisingly. So instead of having it be that, well, actually, did it make it worse? It looks like I got more space, so maybe have this be point negative 0.1, or just have it be 0.001, and then set this one to be 0.1. I don't know. And this one, I'll bring it back to, I'll bring it to a higher number. Let's see if that changes it up. 32. No. Is 32? Yeah, 32. That's like times it by twice. And then press bake. Let's see. Maybe it'll bake it faster, for all I know. Oh, my girlfriend's calling me. Mm. I'll text her that I can't talk right now, but I'll call her right afterwards. Sometimes it works right away, sometimes it doesn't. I should have probably tested that out before. Oh, you see, now that is a better bake. And that looks like really nice right there. It has like some oranges and stuff like that, but it's not that strong. It actually looks way better than it did before. So this is what we're gonna use. So afterwards, you could just hide the high poly one, and then go on to your render settings, right? And right now you're technically looking at the lower poly one. And if I hide the higher poly one from being rendered at all, and I just rendered it out as it is, right? I'll just pause it for you guys so you guys know how to wait. Uh, where's the pause button? Wasn't there a pause button or something? Huh. I guess there's no pause button. Odd. Normally it was. I wonder if it could be rendered out in Eevee. Technically speaking, we're only rendering out the lower poly version of whatever we have right here. Maybe it'll work a lot faster if I had. You see, you can already see like the little details from the light and everything like that. And this is the low poly version, so we can imagine that this would have been a lot better in a different. I'm gonna change it to Eevee. See how that looks. Maybe I'll have the details. Maybe it won't. We'll see. And it seems like it does not. Oh, it does. So that's pretty much how the object came out. I don't know what's up with the weird distortions in it, but overall it's not bad. It could have been better. It's a lot of trial and error. But if you found this video helpful in any way, just let me know down below. Anyways, I've been me, you've been you, and thank you all for watching. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, consider subscribing or leaving a like. And check out these videos if you enjoyed and stood until the end. Thank you and goodbye.